What is your experience of deep sleep?
I surrender right now. I surrender right now. I don't have any experience of deep sleep. I just have experience after deep sleep. And before.
Okay, but we don't want to talk about after
No,
or before,
we don't.
because that's the dream state or the waking state.
Yeah,
But you want to
yeah.
discuss deep sleep, yeah? Okay, so tell me, what is your experience of deep sleep? And then we'll discuss it.
I don't want to discuss it. I want you to discuss it. I have nothing to say about deep sleep, except that it's still going on, and I heard you. I've heard you so many times.
It's
and
still going on?
It's going on as a doubt in me, as a
Okay.
doubt about... the only doubt I have about death is because of deep sleep. That for me it's not clear. It's still not clear. I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and you push me in the logical way. I cannot. We go there and we go there.
I push you in an experiential way, not a logical way. I mean, it is also logical,
Yeah.
but it's primarily experiential.
Experiential. That's the way it's
Okay,
difficult.
so I'm now going to push you gently in an experiential way, because, and I'm going to ask you, what is your experience of the absence of awareness?
Something that didn't exist.
You don't have the experience of the absence of awareness? Is that what you meant?
Can we say that we have the experience of something that doesn't appear, that doesn't, that isn't known?
What would the experience of the absence of something be? What kind of an experience would that be? And more importantly, what would be having that experience? What would be having the experience of the absence of awareness? What would claim, I am aware of the absence of awareness? What would say that? Whatever it is that would say that would have to have two qualities. One, it would have to be present, and two, it would have to be aware.
Oh.
What would we call that?
I know the answer.
Well, why don't you trust the answer? You're right, you know the answer.
But the word...
But you just cannot believe it. That's the trouble.
But talk to me about the word knowingly.
It's like Albert Camus, who went to see Jean Klein just before he died, and he just came out and he just said, I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. You're like that. You're right, you know the answer. Because when you refer to your experience, you know the answer, but your mind comes back, the waking state mind that wakes up in the morning and says, I just can't believe it. It so flies in the face of my beautiful model of existence. Objects appearing in space and time, and then...
No, all the rest, I believe everything of non-duality, except deep sleep. For me, it causes a problem. Because of the knowingly...
It's because your model of time hasn't been completely demolished yet. You still... There's still... The conventional waking state model of time is still... it hasn't been... It's been badly... it's been not, attacked, and there are cracks everywhere in the structure, but it hasn't yet quite, just that last little pin hasn't come out, the whole thing hasn't yet collapsed. So you have a foot in both camps. You say, I believe everything about non-duality, it all makes good sense, and yet you've still got a foot in the other camp that wants to hold on to your conventional model of time, separate objects, a separate self.
It's because all the other things we can know knowingly.
You see what sorry to interrupt, Monique. What you... There's this deep belief in us that time exists in the way it is normally conceived. Although it's never been experienced, the model of time, the past, the future, this slither of time called the now, is so intact still in us that when the waking state mind thinks of deep sleep, it conceives of a state in which there are no objects. In other words, in which it, the mind, is not present. So, however, it makes a huge presumption. Thought presumes that the time that it considers to be real in the waking state continues in deep sleep. So thought says in the waking state time just goes on like this normally. That's real. Time is an absolute fact of experience. And the only thing that's different about deep sleep is that all the objects disappear. That is thought, feeling, sensation. But that time continues. In other words, thought believes that time is a real substance. Time is made out of thought. If there's no thought, there's no time. Time is constructed with thought. Yes? So in the absence of thought, in other words, as whenever a thought disappears, or when the waking state comes to an end, time ceases. So what we call deep sleep, or the absence of appearances, doesn't exist in time. It doesn't last in time. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. It doesn't take time. So there is no question of being present during deep sleep, being aware throughout deep sleep. There is no throughout in deep sleep. Deep sleep is quicker than that. It's without time. The mind, think of timelessness now. Try to think of timelessness. You can't. It's not possible because the language of thought is objects. We can only think of an object. So we cannot think of the now. Strangely, the only place thought cannot go is the now. It can only go into an imaginary past and the future. And that is why as we abide more and more as the presence of awareness, thought comes naturally to an end. There is literally nowhere for it to go. So it's because we still have this deep belief that time is a real substance that we then present ourselves with a problem. I'm not aware during 4 hours of deep sleep. You see, we're presuming that deep sleep lasts for 4 hours. We're superimposing our waking state beliefs onto awareness, thinking that our waking state beliefs tell us something true about awareness. They don't. They just tell us about our beliefs. But we've so deeply believe these beliefs, we think they are the absolute reality of our experience, that we even think about non-duality from the point of view of our beliefs, and we try and fit non-duality into our beliefs. How come I don't experience awareness during deep sleep? Because we're sure that deep sleep lasts in time. Do you see the problem?
Yes, I see the problem. Yes. Nothing more to say.